Raheem Sterling, he's been asked about VAR.
And Raheem, you've got the match ball under your arm there. You really stepped it up in the second half, I thought.
Yeah, you know, it was quite difficult in the first half to get the cobwebs off. You know, the breathing was heavy, so some of the touches were sloppy. But as I said, once the team got into the rhythm, you know, you can find the passes easier, and you know, once that second goal went in, things went a lot smoother, and a lot more chances came.
We've seen in the weeks and months past that you're just getting deadlier and deadlier in front of goal. You've been working on that?
Yeah, it's something that I'm trying to improve on. You know, with the players that we've got here, like Gabriel, Sergio, Riyad, you know, it's competitions and training every day, and you know, it's just a joy to put the ball in the back of the net, and everyone here is trying to do that to help the team.
What do you think of the VAR? You can't celebrate too soon, you guys, can you?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult during the game, because you know, you want your goal to stand, but at the end of the day, as long as the decision's right, that's all that matters.
That's right. Now, gentlemen, congratulations. Gabriel, if you could pass the man of the match trophy to Raheem for me.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there you go, Dermot. And I bet you're going to say, I rest my case, because that's what you want from the players, isn't it? To say, well, look, if they get it right, that's all we can ask for.
Absolutely. He couldn't have done a better job from him, Manish.
Brilliant. Dermot, thank you very much indeed for your time.
No problem.
Part of a very busy afternoon at the Match Centre. 4 games, don't forget, to kick off at the same time. Not just one game, but 4. We'll cover that here on Goal Rush. But look, as we wrap up Manchester City, what about the hat-trick, really, for Raheem Sterling? The other 2 goals he took brilliantly well.
Well, I think Owen said it at half-time about City playing in the first half with not much intensity, playing in second and third gear. They came out and I thought they upped the intensity. Look at De Bruyne and the way he goes past the West Ham defender there, and it was a brilliant finish from Sterling.
Brilliant. I mean, you know, VAR is new and all this technology is new, but Raheem Sterling, his form isn't. This is what we saw last season. Imagine starting the season, first game, 3 goals. That pace that he has now with Leroy Sané out, he'll play on the left-hand side. Maybe Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side, but it looks like a pretty good body of work for 1 game, 3 goals, and probably could have had more.
Do you know what I think is really impressive about Sterling? And I think it's a criticism probably 2 or 3 years ago, was his composure in front of goal, his technique in front of goal.
Yeah.
I think what we've seen, particularly since Pep came in and coached him, is composure in front of goal.
I know exactly what you mean, Phil, and I was watching a few goals actually. And on this goal now, his hat-trick goal, and this is what he does. And maybe because he's not the most natural finisher like Harry Kane, you just watch. He just gives himself a little bit more time, takes that extra touch, sets it. Whereas other players, I think in the past, Van Nistelrooy and Kane, they just smash it, pick a corner. But Raheem, because he's not a natural finisher, he takes an extra touch just to get set.
And his movement is incredible. The way he pulls off the defender. And I agree with Owen. At this moment here now, it's not a case of smacking it like Van Nistelrooy, Shearer. It's a guide. He never actually strikes it fully. He just guides it into the net. And do you know what? World class.
Perfect start for Raheem Sterling. Perfect start for Pep Guardiola. Here he is now.
I'll just ask you about the VAR interventions. What do you make of them? Because it's quite difficult for the players now to know whether to celebrate a goal or whatever.
Yeah, we lost a little bit. You know, the instant always you will be regular or not. After what happened last season against Tottenham in Champions League, all the actions right now, it's nothing happened. So the intensity or the passion we live there, being in semi-finals, and 1 second later we are not. So now we can control that emotion. But it's good for mentally, because you are thinking 0-3, game is over, okay, and immediately it's 0-2, and have an incredible chance you can go 1-2, 15 minutes left. So you have to be strong, so calm, and when positive or especially negative way, you have to learn to, you know, to control our emotions, because we'll take part of the influence.
Thanks very much, Pep.
You're very welcome.
They're looking for a 3rd straight Premier League title, and they start the campaign with a 5-0 win. It's ominous already.
Ominous for everybody else, yeah. And I mean, look, De Bruyne is back. I mean, Cancelo's still to come into this side. This team is just so good. So I think the one thing is, first half, even Raheem mentioned in the interview there, cobweb slightly, you know, intensity and the pace wasn't there. Second half, they upped the game. And once they upped the game, good luck to everybody else.
What impressed you the most about City?
The relentlessness. First game of the season, didn't probably play as well as what they could. They upped the intensity on 5 occasions, got 5 goals. We've seen Liverpool last night, we've seen City tonight. For me, it's a 2-horse race. It's fantastic.
Already, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what a way to start the first Saturday as a new Premier. It's fair to say we've had a game of 2 halves at the London Stadium. We had 1 goal for Manchester City in the first 45, the second 45, 4 goals, including a hat-trick for Raheem Sterling, and 3 big calls for VAR, introduced, of course, for this brand new Premier League season. Dermot Gallagher, former Premier League referee, is in the match centre for us. Dermot, let's talk about the very first one, shall we then, when Gabriel Jesus thought he scored his second goal of the day and City's third. By the narrowest of margins, this was chalked off, wasn't it?
It was. I can fully understand why the assistant didn't see it so tight. When we saw the calibration for the VAR, it just reinforces why the VAR is there. It's absolutely foolproof. When you see the ball played through from Silva to Sterling, nobody realised he was offside, but you see, when you look across the pitch, it's clearly an offside position. I think also the VAR did really well because it kept Mike Dean aware of where to restart and everything, which was another part of the process.
Yeah, I think just to back up VAR, I think there'll be a lot of rubbish spoke tonight around the world about what it's going to do for football. That's tight. If it's 1 millimetre offside or 10 yards offside, it's offside. That's why we want VAR. It'll get rid of all the pub talk and all that business, but this is why we brought in VAR. So people should stop moaning. That is the correct decision. It's offside.
Yeah.
Get
Phil,
on
I'm
with it.
100% with you. As I said to you before, you know, GDS, if it's a millimetre over the line, it's a yard over the line, it's a goal. Offside, exactly as you say. It's a millimetre offside, it's a yard offside, it's offside. So.
But Dermot, looking here, I mean, this is testing VAR to its degree, isn't it?
But
It is, but that's what we asked for, and everybody knew from the outset, Manish, that, as we said, offside, no tolerance. Offside or not offside. The pictures quite clearly show it's offside, so therefore it's offside.
Derm, do you think this is the best thing that could have happened on the second game? Is the fact that it's going to clear up any of this, what could be and what isn't, that it just becomes more definitive? Because I still think, if you look at the picture, you could say it's so fractional, but actually now people are going to understand what's going to be given and what isn't.
Absolutely. Oh, and I 100% agree with you. You know, it clearly shows that. It's gone around the world. It's, you know, it's a live game in England. Everybody's seen that now. Everybody knows how it works. And hopefully it will just roll out now, and all the people who say it doesn't work will see that it does.
And Dermot, what this will also do is emphasise clear and obvious doesn't work for offside, does it?
No, as I said, Manish, it's offside or it's not offside. This case was offside. The second goal that was given wasn't offside.
Derm, do you think there'll be anything in it where they'll just think that time-wise, you know, the cumulative of all these events, they'll come into play, you know, join together?
Well, time-wise, I think it's not a problem, to be honest, Owen. We had 5 goals at Liverpool last night, and all 5 goals were restarted. They were checked before the restart. Today we have 2 delays, but what you'll say, we've got the right decision.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's what people want. People don't want to see goals that aren't goals. People don't want to see goals disallowed that are goals.
Was this more difficult to decide on, Sterling's second?
It was, but what I would say is the assistant was bang on, and you can see why he did a World Cup, can't you? A quality assistant, you know, what a call it was. When you look at the VAR, you know, it's so tight, but Darren Cam was absolutely spot on.
Do you know what, Dermot? I think from someone that's obviously managed in this situation, and Sterling, I think the difficulty when you're out there and you're on the bench is that when you score these goals now, you almost might half celebrate thinking it might be taken away from you. I think we said that before the game, because Sterling, you see, is that it was an half celebration.
Yeah.
But it was the correct decision. I actually thought it was offside. My naked eye said offside. Correct decision again.
Yeah.
This is why we've got VAR.
And you
Phil,
stand
that's what we
corrected.
said.
Yeah. And and that's the end of the debate.
It ends the debate. Even the first goal, if any pundit comes on the telly tonight and said that goal should have been disallowed, it's total rubbish.
Yes.
VAR, the mechanics, the computers have said it's offside.
Yeah.
Just get on with it.
Which is why you're not saying it. Now, as for the penalty, Riyad Mahrez fouled, of course, late on in the game by Issa Diop. I think there was no debating the actual decision itself, because, of course, VAR was brought into play when Sergio Aguero stepped up to take the penalty, the initial penalty, because, of course, it got retaken. Can you explain why this was taken again? Was it because of the goalkeeper or for an encroachment in the penalty area?
No, if you look, Manish, it's Declan Rice enters the penalty area, and if you let it run through now from when it comes back off the keeper, you see that it's actually Declan Rice that clears the ball. See here, it's Declan Rice's first to the ball. So therefore he's had a clear impact on the outcome of the penalty.
So if Declan doesn't clear the ball, nothing would have happened.
No, because he's the one that's had an outcome on a penalty. He's the one that's cleared the ball to save another Manchester City player following up.
And sorry, Dan, I was just going to say, if Declan hadn't encroached, would that have been retaken because Fabianski had his foot off the line?
That's up to the referee. I think it's such a fine margin there that the VAR only intervenes on that if it's clearly something that referees missed.
I think another good decision. I mean, ultimately, if Declan Rice doesn't encroach, Aguero may score the tap-in. Obviously, if he didn't encroach and Valbuena comes on and clears the ball, it's not offside. Look, we wanted VAR to get the big decisions right. You're thinking about March, April, May when titles are won. There's going to be no grey areas in this. And yes, it can be a little bit frustrating, the waits, the 3 minutes, whatever, but I think we're getting it right.
One thing I would say is, and I think the referees are still learning, we all are, the technology fans who are watching, I think Declan Rice shows the players are still learning, right?
Yeah.
That's the old school mentality. You get in there first, and then you realise that has been. If he hadn't cleared that ball off the line, you know that nothing would have happened. So I think players are still learning, and it's going to take time for all of us just to adjust. And I think maybe all these incidences today quickly will help us learn quicker.
Well, Dermot, I'll tell you what, just stay there for us because we can get some post-match reaction from the hat-trick hero for Manchester City.